Hello and welcome back. We're on episode 6 still, but now we're on part 3, hopefully the final part, so I'll try and get through this as quickly as we can. So today we're going to talk about Volcano Bay, fast passes and special events. Okay, Volcano Bay, one of probably our favourite water park there now. It gets a lot of bad press, mainly for guests that don't stay on property, because it does get to capacity, mainly because it's new, and a lot of people that do complain I find are the ones where there's spring break, Easter, stuff like that, so it is quite busy anyway. When we went, we didn't have any problems. Fair enough, we were staying on site, but we went to various points in the day and there was always sunbeds and things available. So my first tip will be for Volcano Bay. When you get in, do not run straight to the sunbeds in front of the volcano. There's sunbeds to the right and sunbeds to the left. If you go to the right, when you get in, you've got the kids part. There's loads of beds there, and there's also benches with umbrellas on, so you get protected from the sun. And then there's all kinds of stuff around the park, and there's some more beach and some beds towards the back. So don't head straight to the front because that will fill up quickly. That's where a lot of people go. But if you're not really going to sit down, throw your stuff in a locker, go around the park, come back. The lockers I think cost about $8 for the small ones, up to $16 for the big ones. But if you're in a big party, you know, it's $4 or $5 each, so it works out. We did the lockers because we didn't want to leave stuff alone on the side, and there's always plenty of spaces to sit about. But you're in a water park, you're not at a beach, so why would you sit around? But anyway, there's my top tip. So Volcano Bay, you get a wristband which is called the Tapu Tapu. This allows you to walk around the park, look at the ride queue times, scan your band onto the queue holder, and that will hold your place in the queue. And then it tells you when your queue time is ready for you to go back to go on the rides. There's 4 rides in the volcano itself. They're mainly drop slides, and then there's a lot of raft slides around the park, and then there's a aqua coaster, which is probably the best slide in the park. Personally, I didn't go on the drop coasters because I'm not really a fan of water slides and the height terrifies me, but my friend went on it and he said it was awesome. So they are worth going on there if you are the adventurous type. So there's the slides. I'm not really going into too much detail of the slides. Water slide's a water slide. But one of the areas there is Tiki Reef. We spent most of our time in there with our boys, and they loved it. There's little water slides for them, but there's also action points around the reef itself, where the kids can interact with those with the Tapu Tapu, which sets off waterfalls and buckets of water dropping on you and all kinds of fun stuff. And there's like a little activity centre in there as well that you can climb around, which is pretty cool. There's a big pool in the middle with your wave pool. It's not as big as the one at Typhoon Lagoon, but it's still good. I'm not sure how often that does run, but it gets quite busy in the pool. As I say, we spent most of our time just running around the slides, staying in the kids part, and sitting around the bars and the restaurant. Now, go to restaurants. So there's 4 restaurants on site and 2 bars, and they're all around the park. And I have to say, for theme park, water park food, this has got to be the best food we've ever had in a water park. The meals were really big and really tasty as well. I think we had a chicken burger and a hamburger and some chicken pieces for Elliot, and the value is really good. So it is worth eating there if you are staying there all day. can't really think of anything else for Volcano Bay. As I say, my main tip is, oh yeah, so we'll talk about getting into the park. So if you stay on site, use Cabana Bay, there's a back entrance you can go into. If you go to Cabana Bay, the hotel itself, if you're staying on any of the properties, you can still get in through the back. But you have to go to Cabana Bay to do that. If you're staying on any of the resorts, you still have to get the bus that the off-site guests have to get to the front of the park. Now, on-site guests get in there an hour early, so that does benefit you getting your favourite spot. And I think it opens at different times throughout the year, so do check these times when you get there just to see when time the park's open. But off-site guests take an hour afterwards, so if the on-site guests can get in for 8 or 9 o'clock, it's an hour afterwards. But if you're off-site, you have to drive to the garage at Universal Studios, and then there's a bus that takes you to the entrance of the park. There's no other way of getting in there. So if you want to try and get there early and beat the queues, there's no way of doing it because the buses don't run until the park is open. So that's it for Volcano Bay. So let's talk a little bit about special events. There's a few special events that run through the year at Universal. The earliest one is Mardi Gras. This runs from February through to April. This is like your New Orleans Mardi Gras sort of thing, where they have dances in the streets, nightly parades, and you throw beads which you can collect as the parade goes past. I do believe if you get there, you can grab a cast member and you can go on the floats to throw the beads. So it is worth, if you wanted to do that, speaking to a cast member to see how that happens. The one after that is the 4th of July party. You've got Christmas events which happen in Universal and Islands of Adventure. One of our favourites is Halloween Horror Nights. This usually runs between mid-September to the end of October. Normally between Thursday to Sunday, and it has a couple of days off in between. Take note though, the special events, especially for Halloween Horror Nights, the regular admission to the park closes at 5 PM, and then it kicks everyone out and then lets everyone back in at 6 for the start of Horror Nights. And then the other one is the Celebration of Harry Potter. This is a weekend which usually runs in January. I think they are doing 2 there's one towards the end of the year, but that's not confirmed yet, but there's definitely one in January where all the Harry Potter celebrities come down and do the panels. There's like memorabilia halls that you can go and have a look at as well, and loads of fun Harry Potter stuff that goes on, where they have exclusive merchandise and stuff that you can buy as well. And that's about it for special events. So same as Disney, you can get fast passes, but unlike Disney, fast passes are not free. There's 2 tiers of fast passes you can get. There's the standard fast pass, I think, which runs between $60 to $70. This allows you to use it once per ride on the day that you buy the pass. The other one is around $100 per person, and that's the Express Pass Unlimited. This gives you unlimited rides throughout the day in both parks, and they've now just included Harry Potter in those as well, which is brilliant. This does not work in Volcano Bay though, so if you're buying a fast pass, it is just for the parks. If you stay in any of the Premier hotels, which is Hard Rock, Portofino Bay, and can't think of the name of the other one, Royal Pacific, you get the fast pass included in your stay. If you're staying there for 2 weeks, you'll get it for 2 weeks. A lot of people, if you've got a big family, if you stay there for one night, which will cost about £200 to £300 for the family, each one of you will get a fast pass for the day you check in and the day after you check in. So to do that, you can get to the hotel for about 7 AM, check in, drop your bags off, they give you your fast pass, you can get early entry into the park, use your fast passes all day, and then the second day when you check out, your fast pass is still valid for that day as well. So you get 2 days of fast passes for that, so it is worth doing that as well. You can't try and diddle the fast passes because they take your picture, so your picture's actually on the fast pass as well. Some check, some don't, but it's not worth the risk, because if you do get caught, you lose the fast pass and you'll get banned from the park. The park tickets will be taken off you. But they are worth it, so it is worth checking the road calendars if you're going to get one. We didn't get one until we got there, but it was worth it. On some rides, not so much others. I do find it's worth it mainly for the water rides, especially when it's hot, because they're always busy. That's your fast pass. Okay, so you do get an app as well, the Universal app for Android and iPhone. It's always updating all the time, so there's a lot of things that you can do with it. But just touching on things that you can buy through there, if you're in the UK and you buy the Fast Pass through the app, it is not the unlimited Fast Pass, it is the standard one ride per person. So if you are going to get a Fast Pass and you want the unlimited, you have to buy that at the park. You can't get that, you can get it through the the app, but it's not the unlimited one, just as a reminder. So like Disney, you get free Wi-Fi in all the parks, so it's easy to run that. It shows you the park hours, the waiting times. You can also book a Fast Pass for Jimmy Fallon through that as well. And now it's got a shop on there which you can buy goods on that as well, and have it collected from the park. And that's pretty much it for the app. As I say, it's very basic. It's not as much as you can do with the Disney one, but it does what you need to do. Your park times, your waiting times, etc. So. And finally, the last part of the Universal Resort is City Walk. This is your area which you've got all your shops, your entertainment. So you've got a bowling alley there, cinema, and some shows which are towards the back of City Walk. And you've also got a crazy golf, mini golf course. There's two areas to the golf course. You've got a spooky area, and then you've got an aliens themed one as well. We've done the haunted one, which was really fun, and next time we're going to do the other side, which is the aliens one. So there's loads of restaurants, loads of shopping. Some of the shops, you've got a fossil shop, an O'Neill shop. I think there's a sunglass hut there as well. So you've got a few shops around there, and there's a lot of restaurants. Toothsomes, which is like the chocolate. They do these big milkshakes and things. There's the NBC Sports Bar, which just opened. There's a donut place which has recently just opened. All kinds of food, from Mexican to pizza to burgers, the normal sort of thing. It's open till 2 AM as well, so they've got nightclubs, some bars there as well. And that's where you get your boats as well back to the resorts in the middle of the lagoon, which is pretty good. So hopefully you've enjoyed this 3-part guide for Universal. If there's any questions or anything that you think I've missed out, again drop it in the comments below and I'll answer those. And thanks again for watching. So if you like it, please subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.